right. Next is going to be Tom Rooney, Illinois Senator, District 27.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Tom Rooney. I'm the state senator for the 27th district. But most of the time in a week like last week, most of the time in a week like the week that's coming, I'm just Mr. Rooney to my high school students who are in my economics classes. And I bring up the idea of being an economics teacher because as all of our opponents run around the state talking about their graduated income tax plan, from the world of economics, there's a little bit of extra insight into this thing. We were all asked as a caucus of senators by a reporter, so if you're against the graduated income tax, what do you know that 30-some states and the IRS don't? And my answer was, we don't know any more, we don't know any less. We just protect our taxpayers a whole lot better than they do. The Constitution of the state of Illinois makes them take on all of us at the same time if they want to raise our tax rates. That's the way it should be. If their idea really is to give people with lower incomes a bigger break when it comes to paying income taxes, we can do that right now without amending the Constitution. It's real easy, and it's from the world of economics. You give everybody a tax break, but a break that matters more to people with lower incomes than it does to people with higher incomes. I have a bill in the legislature, technically still, that has never even gotten a hearing that would do just that. So if all of our opponents who are in support of the graduated income tax were really serious about what they say their idea is, give people with lower incomes a break when it comes to taxes. There's an idea sitting right there that they've never even touched. Now, the second point I'd like to make while I'm up here is talking about only some of our opponents. There are 3 of our opponents, mine and 2 others, who are all running campaign commercials right now with some cookie-cutter language in them. Now, if you haven't seen these commercials, you better watch a lot of TV over the next few days because, as Leader Brady pointed out this morning on WGN, word on the street says those commercials are getting pulled off of cable and all the rest. Because the cookie-cutter language that they all include in their commercials is that they support term limits for leaders like Madigan. Now, let's leave aside for just a moment. My opponent in particular does not support term limits. But when the words come out of my opponent's mouth in the commercial, support term limits for leaders like Madigan, the words that show up on the screen just say supports term limits, which is a blatant deception. My opponent does not support term limits. I do. I supported term limits before I came to the Illinois Senate. In my town of Rolling Meadows, where we have term limits, I term limited myself as an alderman and lived term limits myself. So when I came to the legislature, I got on Kyle McCarter's bill last year, as he's senior to me, and then this year filed my own that says that legislators should only get 10 years in any particular position, and constitutional officers should only get 8 years in any particular position. I'm the candidate in my race that supports term limits. But to leave that aside for right now, this cookie-cutter language that mentions the speaker by name is meant to be, look how we're going to stand up to the speaker when we get to Springfield. And those commercials are going to be pulled down, word on the street says, because the speaker's friends have said, we don't want people ripping down the speaker in their commercials, and so you need to take those down. So watch. See if they get taken down like word on the street says. And then ask yourself, are those really the actions of anybody who's going to stand up to the speaker when they get to Springfield? Or maybe should we be voting for people who have a proven voting record of standing up to those people in Springfield? Thank you very much.